Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarre YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, Jess Franco's 2001 Vampire Junction. Now, this actually came, this is the out-of-print SRS Cinema released double feature of Jess Franco's Vampire Lovers, which includes Vampire Junction, which we're looking at right now, and also Vampire Blues, which I'll be looking at in the future on this YouTube page. This is the back of the DVD that is out of print, and this is the cover of the film that we're looking at right now. Oh, I'm sorry, right there. Vampire Junction. That's the cover. And you can find the covers in bigger version on Google, I believe. Now, these films were released individually, and I believe you can find them on eBay and Amazon used, and I believe they're all out of print. All of these Jess Franco latter career films from One Shot Productions really seem hard to find, but I'm so happy they're at least there in some form or fashion. And I had to purchase this one for a heftier price about a year ago, brand new, because it's out of print, but it's 150% worth it. So let's look at 2001's Vampire Junction by Mr. Jess Franco. Now, I want to read this on the back here. It has a little bit of like a plot synopsis on the back for this film. A female doctor arrives in the town of Fallas, New Mexico, and discovers a situation that seems to be misplaced in time and doctrine. Unbeknownst to her, a vampire princess of American Indian descent has chosen her to become her vampire heir. I have some notes here, so if you see my eyes divert. This is a fascinating, stylistic, and horrifically creepy gothic horror Jess Franco film. Let's look at this movie. I mean, we have mashups of punk, western, supernatural, horror, gothic, and even Native American. We have all of those things mixed together here, folks, in a wow, it's a potent, bizarre, psycho, hallucinogenic, sexual blend. And I've never seen anything like this before. And when you enter into Jess Franco's realm, you know you're entering into true danger, true dangerous cinema. And if you want a definition of what I mean by dangerous cinema, just watch this film. You know, we look at the music in this movie. And I know Daniel White did some music, and I know there were some other people that did music as well, and I believe Jess Franco also offered some music. I recognized a mix of a song that was on the Jess Franco Daniel White album that they released on vinyl and CD. That was, I believe, distributed by Crippled Dick Wax. And I think it might have been in some other Franco films as well. But the vast majority of the music in this movie is scary, sometimes electronic, sometimes has haunting organ music, psychedelic, twisted horror, gothic orchestration, avant-garde, experimental, insanity. At times, it almost reminded me of the score by Thomas Dolby for the film Gothic by Ken Russell, which I looked at on this YouTube page. You can find that. One of my favorite movies. And there are definite cues in here that remind me of Thomas Dolby's score in that film. As soon as the opening title sequence happens, you know you are absolutely bombarded by a soundscape unlike anything that you have heard before. It sounds otherworldly. It sounds totally dangerous and insane, but totally horrific at the same time. You are entering into a horror film, but you are entering into a horror film of the likes that you have not experienced before, truly pushing the boundaries of horror cinema and what horror can be and what cinema can be. Here we go. And it is spooky, It is dark, it is weird. The title cards are stagnant, almost handwritten looking like, almost like gravestones. You know, in this film, we have fading, ghostly effects. We have black and white scenes with splashes of invasive color at times. We have the shaving of female pubic hair and the licking off of the shaving cream, or is it whipped cream? Hopefully it's whipped cream. And that enveloping into the horror of that, and the world of that, that occupies this surreal story where the style is the substance. There's this unbelievable mirror reflection in this film. An unbelievable mirror reflection. A small mirror in a hotel room. And watching through the mirror, the curtains open, and a ghostly presence standing there. Yes. It's quite haunting and unbelievable. We have vaginal blood drinking in this film, bringing into also the 69 sexual position. At times, some of those themes reminded me of Lena Romay in Female Vampire, which I've also looked at on this YouTube page. We have an interesting Native American statue that reminded me a bit of Creepshow 2 in what happens to that statue and in kind of the life force of that statue in the town. This is a town called Shit City. Yes, Shit City. We have British narration in this film, but it doesn't seem to be for the lead person in the film, or is it? Because the lead is Lena Romay, but the narration seems to be coming from a male perspective. And at times I thought it was dealing with another character in the film, and then other times I thought it was dealing with Lena's character. We have timeless rainfall, muddy puddles throughout this town. But timeless rainfall, time and time and time again, as you see in Jess Franco's films, characters are waking up and waking up and waking up and waking up again in their bed, and dream within a dream within a dream. And in this film, yes, there's a bed, but yes, there's also the driving in a rainstorm. That seems to be the beginning of the journey, but that kind of is cyclical. And that the lead character is constantly at the beginning again, constantly revisiting. Has the journey ever even started? It's so interesting too, because as you look at certain scenes, the sound from certain scenes will move into and replace the sound of other scenes, and they don't mix. And you know, the rain from a drive in a scene in a sunlit bedroom. And you know, we have psychedelic lens flares in here. Oh, shockingly bright daylight through an open window, which is something Jess Franco loves to do as well, the open curtain windows. We have these unbelievably creepy hallways, these long dark hallways that have these sections of light from certain, like almost just lights in the ceiling, just in certain sections of the hallways. And they're probably the most creepy, haunting hallways I've seen in a Jess Franco film. And in general, I have to say, they are unbelievably moody and unbelievably scary and haunting and surreal, as the entrance to these hallways also seems to be cyclical. We have this bizarrely scary scene of what seems to be a bird flying out of a closet. We have automatic typing, and we have the reversal of that typing on a computer screen, and also soundscapes going backwards, sounds going backwards. There's dreams kind of interrupting present reality, where stuff of all other worlds or dreams are interacting with the reality and laughing when something happens in the reality, but that reality is in a person's head, and they're laughing at the person. They're interacting. They're crossing over into reality. We also have a healthy dose or unhealthy dose of humor in this film. Humor dealing with preachers and hypocrisy. Humor dealing with the internet and technology. And humor dealing with journalism. As Lena Romay is playing a journalist who is being brought to this mysterious town that really does look like a Hollywood movie set. It's completely abandoned. It's a Western town, but it's also has a healthy dose of Madrid, Spain as well, or Malaga, Spain, and Malaga, Spain in particular for this film. And he's the king of reflections, where Jess Franco can shoot reflections through mirrors or car windshields, and you never ever see his camera. Yet I've seen Hollywood films where if you look closely enough, you can see the camera. Jess Franco only shows his camera in a reflection when he wants to. Check my other reviews on this YouTube page for his other films where he purposely does that, a la Sex is Crazy and others. We have a mysterious forest in this film. When's the last time you saw a mysterious forest in a Jess Franco film? An interesting disdain for technology and cell phones and the internet. Something just happened on the screen, yet it's as if the characters were engaged in it, but it's as if the characters never saw it, except there's just a one thing left from what happened in that reality. A cape. But everything else that they just witnessed, the gunshots, the fights, it's as if they never happened. But here's this cape, and where did the cape come from? We have this unbelievably wild spider walk. You know what? Forget what you know about The Exorcist spider walk in the extended version. The spider walk in this film is insane, coming off of a bed and leading up to a sexual leg lock. Yes. Religious haunting hymns in this film. The way the film begins is different than the way the film ends. Opening credits and closing credits. Opening credits, the crazy cacophony of horror. Closing credits, subdued, hymn-like, white cascading light horror. The scene with two girls, Dracula, and two visages of ghostly presences in the curtains beyond. What a haunting scene near the end of this film. A twist ending. Ghostly presences. Sexual acrobatics. I've never seen sexual acrobatics like this before, folks. There seems to be a diversity in the working cast in this film. We have gynecological shots, masturbation, oral sex, and wild, full nudity from sexual acrobatics, unlike what I have seen before. Shaved vaginas, butts, buttholes, red-dyed neon hair. This is 2001's Vampire Junction. Here it is from Jess Franco.